go. All fixed.
But it was the computer that
What's that?
What's that? CDI.
What?
Compact Disc Interactive. It plays everything from music CDs to educational games. All through your television, all on its big screen, and all in full motion digital video.
Dutch company Philips, with a little bit of help from Nintendo, threw their hands into the video game market with their own multimedia console called the CDI, attempting to get ahead of the industry with CD-based games. But what went so wrong that they even created some of the worst Nintendo-based games? How could you mess up a Nintendo game? Well, let's find out. So the CDI wasn't just a console, it's also a disc format. CDI stands for Compact Disc Interactive. This was all back in 1986 when Sony, of all people, and Philips both would introduce this format at the Microsoft CD-ROM conference. Philips, though, was the owner of the format and would start promoting it to various developers in 1990, one of them being Nintendo. As mentioned previously in the Nintendo PlayStation video, Nintendo during this time had the SNES and wanted to have a CD accessory for it in order to shift with where the industry was going towards CDs instead of cartridges. Nintendo was working with Sony on this, but little to their awareness, Nintendo was also in talks with Philips. At the last second, Nintendo abandoned the deal. And yeah, Sony was just left in the dust, cheated on basically, but Philips would go on to make their own system, the CDI. It was marketed as a multimedia capable device of watching movies, displaying photos, and of course playing video games. Some of them were Nintendo IPs because in the original deal, Sony was legally able to use Nintendo's IPs and make games like Hotel Mario and their own Zelda trilogy. But these games though wouldn't be stellar at all, even though they were holding huge titles. In 1994, the CDI would get a redesign to make it look a little bit more console-esque, but that still wouldn't help its success. That same year in 1994, they had to drop the price to $4.99 just to compete with the PlayStation, even though that was $2.99. By 1996, it would be discontinued, only selling 570,000 units in total. So why exactly did the CDI fail? Unlike the ordinary one or two answers, this one has a lot. Besides their obviously bad lineup of Nintendo games, overall, the CDI didn't have any good games. Another big issue was the marketing. It was extremely weak. It did describe what this system was, but it did it in a, let's say really infomercial style. Really boring when compared to what Sega was pulling out, and Nintendo and PlayStation and Atari. Like, what catches you more, this?
See here, fellas, what you got? Where else can you find a full screen experience like this? Over. All on your big screen TV. Energize. And all in full motion digital video. Up. And all with CD sound. Wow, that's killer sound.
Or this.
Hey! You still don't have a Sega CD? Huh? What are you waiting for? Nintendo to make one? You have seen the games, right? Wrong answer, man. Show them. Want to see more?
Wow, that's killer sound.
And before its redesign, it was just seen as a VCR that could play games, just games once again without any big titles, and the only ones that are big titles are bad. And I mentioned before that it had a price drop, but on release date, it was $1,000 to get one. And as we know, the competition definitely wasn't $1,000, and in 1994, the competition wasn't $500. In total, this would cost Philips over $1 billion, which was even a bigger loss than Nintendo has experienced with the Wii U, and I think it's the biggest loss that we've covered in this series. Today, the CDI is really mostly known for its bad Nintendo IPs. At one point in time, each of them have become their own memes and have been reviewed and laughed upon. So yeah, other than that, apparently there are fans who want like a mini classic to be made, but this was back in 2018, so I don't think this is gonna happen. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.